Good morning, good morning, good morning, you guys. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show with Marisha LaShay. Thank you guys for dropping by my Facebook Live this morning. This is season 2. If you missed out on season 1, you can check it out on the YouTube channel for the network. It's going to be 1, as in the number 1, Man Army Network on YouTube. So check us out. You'll see myself, Marisha LaShay, and my father, Mo Morris, and my cousin, Kennedy Thomas, and our other teammates, Jalen and Nevaeh. Check us out. Come on, let's begin to celebrate this second season of this breakfast show. I want to give a tribute, first and foremost, to God, who is the head of my life, and for making this moment possible for me. Thank you to my biggest supporters, my parents. You guys know what you guys instilled in me, my work ethic, my principles, and my morals. Thank you for my constant supporters. You guys know who you all are. And shout out to my son, Caden. I love you, and you know that. Let's go. So I am Marisha Morris. However, when I do social media videos and content, I go by Marisha LaShay, which is an idea that my father gave me. It is my first name and my middle name merged together. So I am the host of this awesome show. I'm originally born and raised in Chicago. I'm still checking in from Atlanta, Georgia. You guys never know where I'm checking in from. I could be checking in from an island or wherever, from space or a different dimension. Who knows? So, what is the Breakfast Show with Marisha LaShay? Well, this is a platform that was designed to engage an audience worldwide with thought-provoking questions or statements and to encourage open dialogue to gain insight on multiple perspectives on a question or that particular statement. Today is day 18 for the breakfast show, and this show will be in effect for the next 12 days. So welcome again, and I hope that you join the journey with me over the course of time. So for the next part of the show, this is when we check in on ourselves, how we're feeling day to day, and where we're at mentally. So when we're doing this, it is measured on a scale 1 to 10, 1 being the worst day of your life, and 10 being the best day of your life. You can be off the scale. You can be a negative, or you can be higher than a 10, 11, 20, 21, 25, 100, infinity. Whatever that you decide to be, that's totally up to you. So when we do this part of the show, I ask that people normally drop their numbers in the comment section below whenever that we are doing this, just so I can get an idea as to how you all are feeling, because that matters. Meanwhile, today I am a solid 50. I had a really, really productive morning. I did not get up and start this show at its normal time, but that's okay. I'm still here. And everything happens for a reason, as far as with the preparation that goes into this show. So I really, really got some dope stuff to you guys today. And I'm just committed to the process, still being able to get it done. Just because it does not happen at the particular time that you schedule for it to, understand that God always knows best. So, with that being said, the next part of the show is where we talk about the content. The question is, when I normally drop the question, I normally repeat the question twice. That way you could catch it if you are just coming in on the live, or if you did not hear me. I'm still in recovery mode, so I'm not fully opening my mouth. It looks kind of crazy. But, yeah, just bear with me, you guys. The question is, dear MIA, for those that don't know what MIA is, it's missing in action. Have you seen the fathers lately? If so, why are they missing, and when do they plan to return? The question is, dear MIA, missing in action, have you seen the fathers lately? If so, why are they missing, and when do they plan to return? Okay. So, hello, you guys again, out there. Thank you for tuning in today. This message is for the mothers who need clarity, understanding, or whatever that they are feeling. This is for my fathers who feel like no one is listening and they feel all alone in this world. But this message is for you. And to the children who having a hard time accepting the story, aka the truth, let's help our children cope during this vulnerable moment in time in their life. Today's topic is talking about the missing fathers and how we press on. I am no way, shape, or form here to paint a tainted picture of fathers that are not on their job. Okay? Let's break down these various scenarios. All right, scenario number 1. I have a few statistics for you dealing with this particular scenario. The death of parents is one of the most traumatic events that can occur in childhood. It has been estimated that 3.5% of children under the age of 18 in the United States. So this scenario is called God's Way. My father is deceased and I never had the opportunity to meet him or experience anything with him. How do I suppose to experience those things that I never experienced with a father? Okay. Follow-up steps. The first thing that should take place is to address and deal with yourself. That is your primary responsibility. Second, seek professional help. Okay. Next, in the midst of receiving your professional treatment, get an idea of what you want to seek in that relationship with other males in your family, like your uncle or your grandfather or an older brother. That father figure is somewhere, but everyone isn't qualified, and only you know what you need. Tread lightly and be patient with yourself in regards to this matter, because this is very delicate. Okay? So I'll repeat that. The first thing that you want to do is you want to address and deal with yourself. That is your primary responsibility. Second, you want to seek help. Professional help. Next, in the midst of receiving your professional treatment, get an idea if you are going to seek that relationship with other males in your family. There may be your uncle. There may be your grandfather. There may be your older brother. That father figure is somewhere, but everyone isn't qualified and only you know what you need. Tread lightly and be patient with yourself in regards to this matter. It is very delicate, especially delicate to you. All right, moving on. We have stats on absent fathers. More than 20 million children live in a home without physical presence of a father. But there are millions more who have dads who is there physically but are emotionally absent. So you mean to tell me that my dad is present, we live in the same house, and he's not there for me emotionally? Yes, that is what they're saying. An estimated 24.7 children, which is 33%, live with their biological father. The biological father, we're living in the same house. Okay? But then they have one for students. Of the students in grades 1 through 12, 39%, which is 17.7 million, live in homes with absent biological fathers. So you telling me that based on these grades and these students and whatnot, that they don't have a father at the house? Interesting. So, we're moving on to our next scenario, but before I get into that, I have a little introduction that leads us into scenario 2. First and foremost, thank God for the union of marriage. But blending a family isn't always easy because it's a lot of personalities and other key players who's like those active fathers and mothers. Everyone has to get in motion and be on the same page in the room, giving their expectations on a plan being put in place. Okay? Ideally, some people don't deal with order and organization. They just do. So scenario 2, we're talking about stepdad nation. Case in point, I'm Mandy and I have 3 children. Their father and I were married, but we got divorced 2 years ago after being married for 15 years. Okay. Now we both have remarried and we have a pretty clear direction and plan for our children and our spouses. We come together for holidays, and when we don't, then we do separate things. My new husband has no children, so he embraces my children like his own and jumps in and helps. My children never gave him no pushback because the relationship was established over the course of time before we got married. And then their stepdad and dad had an understanding and sat down to address their roles in the children's life. That's very positive. That is very ideal as well. Now here's a negative aspect with a different scenario. I've been married for 29 years and my children don't respect their stepfather. Because of the ups and downs we have experienced, but because my children have a closer relationship with their real father, honestly. They tolerate my husband for the sake of me, but honestly, my husband and I got married when my children were teenagers. So yeah, it doesn't justify the fact that you allow your children to see all the ups and downs that you all experienced in the marriage. However, they only tolerate him, but it should just be a respect factor. And when he came into these children's life, they needed guidance. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had their real father, but we know that you were there for the mother, but you were there for them children because when you married her children. Okay? So my message in regards to stepfathers. Stepfathers are like coins. They have good sides. They have bad sides. Heads or tails. Everyone is not going to intertwine because the children can see the BS. And sometimes as adults, we ignore the red flags because we want and desire. It's more apparent than the reality of the person's true fashion, who they are. Sometimes men overlook the children and are only there for the woman, and that's it. Okay? That's my takeaway message. Scenario 3. Father figures. Thoughts about father figures. These are males with pure intentions to love you, respect you, and give you clear understanding of men. They will ride with you to see the mechanic or when men get crazy and more. My pastor is my father figure because he has always supported me since I was a child and taught me so much. My uncle was my father figure because he protected me when I was away in college and taught me so much. We talked about relationship issues and I always had a shoulder to cry on. My grandfather. Wow, teaching me about finances, the stock market, generational wealth, decision making, and all about family ways and people, and more. Godfathers. They are the best and they will take care of you and they mean well in this role because they have valuable insight on life. My takeaway on father figures. It just pretty much summed itself up that they are needed and they are blessings in your life because when you do not have your real father present, this is what God sent these father figures to do. You hold them to a standard. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. Scenario 4. This is the free will. This is when we are talking about why these fathers are missing. Why they are missing. You know, these fathers choose something over the child. Okay? Father versus they self. I'm going to choose me. I want to be selfish. I don't want to be bothered with the commitment that it takes to be a father. Okay. Father versus women. I think that women are more important than my children. I would rather be out here chasing chicken heads or whatever the case. Sure, why not? Father versus drugs. You know, we have an issue because I would rather choose drugs over my kids. I would rather do drugs than to be a present father. And the drug scene got me gone, got me missing. Taking my money, taking my time, taking my commitment, taking my brain, taking all of me with it. Fathers versus the other family. If children was conceived in a side piece relationship or situationship, then he's choosing his other family to acknowledge that he's not going to acknowledge that other child because that woman may not want him to acknowledge the other kids. And that's some women preference. It don't make sense, but some people are very selfish like that. So let's understand what's going on with that ministry. Father versus money. Their job is so important to them that they ain't trying to be bothered with no child. They did not want the child from jump. So now they chasing the bag. And they want you to get out of their way while they chase this bag. Father versus hurt and pain. With the fathers actually growing up in a broken home. Mother was missing. Father was missing. How are you expecting this man to get over the hurt and the pain that was enforced on him, how's he going to be able to be who he needs to be if he has not dealt with that hurt and that pain? Moving on. Father versus emotional disconnections. You have no emotional connections to your children. You don't even know how to connect with them. You don't even have no emotional connections within your life or yourself. You are just out of it. Fathers versus no direction. If you are a father, you have no direction. You didn't even have a father. There are so many ways that you could go with not having any direction, or not even trying to find no direction, not trying to figure out, take no classes, nothing. I'm just going to be out here doing what I do. I'm going to act like I don't have a child out here. So please let me be great in that and let me do me. Father versus mother. For some reason, with this pair, the father and the mother may have parted ways. The father may have hurt the mother in some shape or form, so she's a bitter. She's hurt. The mother may have hurt the father. The mother and the father may have been cat and mouse, where they are using the children as pawns to actually, leverage on seeing each other, or whatever the case. Mothers can be vicious. You know what I'm saying? She might have kept the children away purposely from the father and just very dysfunctional. Who knows? Father versus prison or jail. The father commits a crime in the streets, gone away. Now he has no presence with their not even on his children. And then the resentment builds up. And then last but not least, the father versus no desire to be a father. As mentioned before, that ties into no direction. That ties into the hurt and the pain. I had no desire to be a father. No, I did not take no precaution to prevent little Johnny from coming into the world. I gave the mother abortion money and she didn't go do that. And I told her I did not want any kids, but you did not take no precaution to not have any kids. Okay. So, moving on from all those particular factors of having free will. So today's takeaway is fathers go through things too. This is not a justification for them, but this is acknowledging that there is a wound in the community and in the world. We have to put, we understand that there is a wound. We put the proper stuff to heal the wound. We place the Band-Aid on the wound, but we never asked or investigated to find out the why. Well, today I asked the question. And the question is, dear MIA, missing in action, have you seen the fathers lately? If so, are they missing, and when do they plan to return? You guys are welcome to chime in, viewers. Thank you guys for sharing. That is the close of the show. Thank you guys so very much for listening and tuning in. I will see y'all tomorrow on The Breakfast Show with Marisha LaShay at the regular time at 5 o'clock. You all have a superb, a blessed, and sanctified Sunday. Thank you guys so much. See you later.